It's all right. I was on mute. I was on mute anyway. I was just on the other line. How are you? You well?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. I'm just going to stick my video on for a second. Right.
Oh, hello.
Actually, I'm going to turn my video off because I don't want. I'm working from home today, so I don't want to ruin the bandwidth. Actually. So, where do we
I'm just
start?
gonna
I'm going to give you option to present because I guess that's probably what's going to be best. Is that how this typically works? What's the plan?
uh, yes, exactly. So I typically share my screen and then I do a
Okay.
walkthrough of the platform and then answer any questions that you have.
Wonderful. That sounds perfect.
Do I need to add an extension here in
No,
order
no,
to
no. You should be
share?
fine. So if you can you see the GoToMeeting box?
Uh,
Have you got the box at the side, the rectangle with your audio on, your audio button?
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Share your screen. Yes, I
So,
see.
so in the middle is the screen. If you just click on the screen, then you can share your screen.
Sure. Okay, so maybe at the beginning I'm just going to introduce myself. So my name is
Okay.
Gedra. I've been with Whatagraph since the very beginning. So I've seen it grown and I've seen all the features. So I know the
Brilliant.
product more or less inside out. So that's why I'm doing this walkthrough. And my question for you would be, how far are you into using Whatagraph? Have you come across any specific struggles or questions that we could cover during this call?
Yeah, there's a number. I've not actually set up any reporting yet, so I'm hoping off the back of this call I'll be able to give you the scope of. I've pulled in as many sources as we can. I've got questions about some of the sources and duplication of some of the sources and how we work out which are the right and wrong sources. Um, so I've got certainly for things like Google Analytics, I've got multiple sources pulling through. So for some clients, I've got them coming through sort of 3 times, which is
Mhm.
obviously using up our data sources that we have available to us, which is a bit of a
Mhm.
pain. So it's a case of, does Whatagraph pick up duplicates in any way? Is there a way we can clean that up automatically, or is it a manual job? Um, Again, things like MailChimp integration. So we've got MailChimp and we're just trying to integrate it. Um, which are the right strings to be pulling through, because when we do, so the way we work with clients, so we're a marketing agency, but we work specifically in the optical industry. So our
Mhm.
packages, we deliver pay-per-click advertising, we deliver SEO, we deliver social, we deliver blogs, and we deliver newsletters. Now, blogs and
Mhm.
newsletters aren't a monthly service necessarily. So
Mhm.
what we would like to try and report on blogs and newsletters, but the newsletters, for example, might be every 2 months or every 3 months. So how are we
Mhm.
able to potentially pull through reporting on a month by month basis, or
Mhm.
on a previous well, basically on a month by month basis, or do we just keep a fixed figure in there if it's a month on month reporting? Um,
Mhm.
we've also got SEMrush as well, and that's maybe not for today, but I would like to potentially, because we're not doing enough with SEMrush at the minute, and that's something that I've got to look at. So maybe I need to look at that and come back to you guys on
Mhm.
SEMrush integration. But again, that's something we'd like to pull in there. But primarily, the feeds that are most important to us in kind of order are AdWords, analytics, social media, Google My Business, and MailChimp. Now, the blogs that we do, we typically post them on specific pages for clients. So again, if we do a blog on something to do with eye care, we have a blog link on websites. So are we able to report on that specific link?
Mhm.
That specific page and its sub pages. So again, that's another sort of question there as well. But ones I guess we can deal with as we go along.
Mhm. Sure. Is that all?
That, yeah, I mean, I'm sure things will come up. But as I say, the multiple sources is a bit of an issue because we've managed to suck up all of our sources
Mhm.
already. which which isn't ideal, to be honest with you. So we could do with, as I say, just expanding that out a little bit.
Sure. All right, so I've got it noted. Obviously, if any questions come up during the walkthrough, let me know. We'll be able to address them straight away.
Okay.
Switch to list.
In fact, do you want me to, before you kick off, do you want me to share my screen, and then I'll show you what we've pulled in?
Yes.
Is that worth doing? Okay,
sure.
and then
maybe I will see something that you can set up better, especially when it comes to data sources.
Yeah, and I'll show you a couple of those issues from that perspective. Okay, so where are we? Client sources. I need to go back to all of the sources. Where are all my sources gone? I was all right with this earlier. So analytics, for example. If we look at, I'm just trying to find an example of one that I have seen multiple times. So Ferrier and McKinnon. So if we go down.
You can also use the search. So if you type the name, it would probably filter just.
Oh, okay. I love a bit of stuff. Okay, so we've not. So I think I've killed those off. Right, that's fine. So I think I might have already taken some of those off. No, it's not loving that. Okay, that's fine. Here we go. Okay, so Google Analytics in Focus Opticians. So one of our important clients. So this is the same profile ID. So am I okay to literally just remove these sources like that one by one?
Yes, you can. You mentioned that you haven't set up any reports yet, have you?
No, I've not. No, but these.
Okay, so that's fine. Yeah, so you can go ahead and remove them.
These are exactly the same. Exactly the same IDs, right? So, do I manually remove them now, or do we wait until we set reports up?
No, it's fine. You've just removed them, so you only have one left now. So
lovely. Right. Well, I'll sort that out later. So that's that sorted. So wonderful. That's a great job. So client sources. I want to go back to all client sources. Why am I not? Why can't
you need to mark all of them. So you need to put ticks in here.
That's fine. Okay. Right. Yeah. So these are the ones that we've added in. Oh, sorry. Facebook ads as well. There's only a couple of clients that are using that on an existing basis as well. So these are the sources we've got set up at the minute. So let's say analytics, there's quite a few there. Google My Business, that's fine. Facebook, Google Ads, these are all about right in terms of the numbers that we've got set up. Okay. Okay, I'll unshare my screen now, unless you want to have a look at anything else.
No, all is clear.
Good stuff. I'll let you share your screen if you want to run through what we need to run through.
Do you need to make me a presenter?
Sorry, I switched over to myself. I don't know. There we go. Right. So yeah.
Okay. Hold on, I'll see if it doesn't seem to work. I'll just check if I need to
just to the right,
disable the ad blocker.
Just to the right of the mic, the screen thing there. Just click share my screen.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so I had to refresh the page. Do you mind making me a presenter again? It's made out.
Yeah, no, you're on as a presenter. It's should be fine.
Okay.
Should be fine.
None. Okay, I think it's downloading an extension for me.
Oh, okay.
Since I cannot hear it.
That's fine. Well, while it's doing that, shall I share my screen and we can build some reports?
Yeah.
Is that typically what goes on this?
Usually I share the screen, but I wouldn't be able to look into your screen because
Oh, it said that you're now presenting. So as long as you've hit there we go. I can see you now. I can see your screen now. Yep. I can see your screen fine now. If you just go back to your Whatagraph tab. I won't worry about it. Just go back to the tab you want to be on. There we go.
Oh. So you can see it all right?
Yeah, I can see you fine now.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, we're getting there. All right, so obviously when you just start with Whatagraph, you would arrive at an empty screen where you have a section for your clients and then you have a section for the reports.
Yeah.
When you switch between clients, then the view here changes and it shows reports that are clickable only to the client in here. So this is quite good in organizing your reports for a specific client. And to add a new one, you just simply click on plus icon and you name it. And save, and then the next thing obviously that needs to be done is you need to add the data sources. I will not show it how to do it since we've already added them, and I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that bit's not too bad at all.
So each client they have their own settings available. So you can set things for report automation, white label.
Yeah.
And this basically helps in creating reports faster when you start doing that. These settings are what we call global settings. So it's a good place to, like, for example, set the branding, preset the automation settings, which later then can be integrated to any of the reports.
Okay.
So it just saves a little bit of time. Now in report automation, we have a setting for time zones. It's quite important for integrations like Facebook, which has a widget called best times for posting, and it's calculated based on the time zone you select in here.
Okay.
You can select the time of the day when the automated report is delivered. You cannot select a specific day for now, but we are working on an update to automation settings where you will be able to be more flexible here. So for example, you will be able to say that I want to get a weekly report that runs from Friday to Thursday, and I want to be getting that on Monday. So you will be able to do that in the future.
Okay.
Here you can set different date formats that are shown in the report. And now moving on, we have these two options here. So when we send an automated report, you can select whether you want to review it before it is sent or whether you want to send it without your review. You would use this option when you have a report that has comments, any offline data, screenshots, basically anything that would need to be updated before the report is sent. That's perfect, because that's one thing that I forgot to mention to you. We do have some offline, we have some offline data that we need to integrate into the reports. So that would be the, at that point, if the report was generated, it's not fully generated, we can still add in offline data there, yeah? Exactly. So what happens when we generate the data, when it's all ready, we send you an email reminder saying that, hey, your report is ready, come and review it. And then you go to your dashboard, you open the report, you review the comments, update everything, and then you approve the report. And this gives us a sign that we are good to go, and it's sent the next day. Okay. Now, what happens if you don't review the report? Because, you have 24 hours to do it, which will actually be increased in the very near future. But if somehow life gets in the way and you forget to do it, this means we don't send the report, because we don't want to send report with outdated information and old comments. Sure. But that doesn't mean much, because you still can you can still make a copy of your report and you can generate it for your specific date range and then share it manually with your clients.
Okay.
So the data is not lost anywhere.
Right. Okay.
And obviously, if you're not using any comments, you're not using any offline data, maybe it's just a report that you send to yourself, you can select this option in here and not worry about it anymore.
Okay. Fine.
If you tick option here, you get a little summary, a little email that explains, that outlines which reports were sent to who.
Yeah.
And also, if you want the data to be compared to a previous period, tick this option here.
Yes. Yeah, we definitely do.
Yeah, and this is the list of the people who will be getting your lovely reports. So I'm just going to add myself. More of the automation settings are available on the report level, so I will get into that once we start creating the reports.
Okay.
Now, moving on to white label. You have the ability to customize the header of the report and the footer of the report.
I've done all that. That's fine. Yeah, I've played around with that.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah. You can also, did you see ability to customize colors?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. And what about the email settings?
I didn't look. Well, I've seen the email settings. I haven't played with them at all. So I'm assuming this is part of the automated email that comes out with the reports on. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, okay,
one thing to notice here is the send address. So don't forget to put your agency's name or your own name, so the person who gets the report actually recognizes it.
Okay.
And also don't forget to put your own reply to email address. Otherwise, if you leave this empty, then the replies would be going to us.
Okay, good shout. Yeah.
So we've been to client sources, which I haven't connected here, and responsible user. If you work with a team, this is where you can assign a responsible team member to the client. Yes. And this will be the person who will be getting all the automated emails from us. So when you need to review a report, we would send an email to this person here.
Can we send that to multiple people, or does it have to be an individual?
It has to be an individual, but you can always make it a general email.
Generic email. There is one. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, super.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go to this client since it has data sources connected, and we'll try to create a report. So before we create a report, bear in mind that there are two types of reports in Whatagraph, and they are not connected in any way. So we have automated reports, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. These are the preset date ranges, and you cannot change them. And on-demand reports, they are much more flexible. They have very flexible calendars, so you can select any date range for these. On-demand reports can be automated, but they can only be automated for the preset date ranges.
Okay.
Still, if you want to share a report that has like some random date ranges in there, you can do it like via share button or downloading a PDF and then sending it to your clients via email.
No, we definitely want we definitely want standardized month-on-month reporting, so that's fine.
Cool. Okay, so I will start creating reports. So we have tons of templates available here. When you create a report, edit it, and you really like it, you can save it as a team template, so your team will be able to use it as well. And once you save it as a template, you would find it here under team templates.
Okay, fine.
I'm going to start with blank, just because it gives me more chances to show the functionality of the platform.
Okay, fine.
So when I start with a blank template, then the first thing I have to do is to connect data source to the actual report. So we have data sources connected to the account, but then we also need to connect data source to the actual report so we know where to pull the data from.
Sure.
So these were connected in the client earlier. I'm gonna include analytics, Facebook ads, Google ads, and then we'll see if we need anything more in there. This is a calendar where you can set the different date ranges. Let's do the date. And let's compare to last year. It's important to know when you're building multi-source reports that it is important which data source is selected in here. So I have Google Analytics selected, which means when I go back, all the widgets in here are applicable only to Google Analytics. If I switch the source, the view in here would change as well.
Okay.
So this is what we call our report builder. It's divided into widgets and into white label. White label is inherited from client settings. If I want to do something specific, I switch here and I play around this. Now widgets we have pre-made widgets available. So what we've done here in Whatagraph available for you to use. If there is a widget that you cannot find, you can always build it using Studio, and I'll show you how to use them as well.
Okay.
We have ability to add images, so you can add screenshots from the integrations that we do not have, or you can also make a cover page out of it, since every widget is expandable. So you could add your logo and then make it like full page size.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
In the text comments, we have, text comments, which are pretty flexible, and you can use it in a variety of ways. So one of them being acting as a comment, where you explain why the numbers grew or why they didn't. And you can also use it to create titles for your report and create sections as well. So I will call it once report. Oh, let me go type in there. Come on, please. And with a little bit of formatting, I have a title for myself. So I can also expand it to make it larger.
Yep.
And I can also add a report calendar, which basically shows what date range is for reporting. And once I start adding widgets, they add like little icons of integrations in here as well.
Okay.
Other thing we have here is the offline data. You mentioned that you guys will be using offline data.
Yes, we will. Yeah.
We work in a very similar way to Studio. Basically, you just select the type of graph that you want to be visualized. So, for example, table, and once you click on it, you get the settings menu where you can enter all your data manually. In tables, you can actually copy paste from a sheet.
Oh, okay.
And
right.
once you click enter, then more lines appear in here.
Right. Okay. Good stuff. So if we save this as a report, for example, and we put in, so we're going to be talking about telephone calls and voucher downloads, shall we say? If we set that as a fixed amount, and we entered that data manually for February, when we came to do March's report, and we entered that data in that same field for March, is it going to compare month on month for us, because we've done month on month on the settings, haven't we?
Good question. Good question. Actually, I think the tables they don't have the ability to compare, because I don't see anywhere where you could enter previous value.
Okay.
Like for example, if you have a single value,
yeah,
you can add previous value in here. So this would show the increase or decrease in the numbers. This would obviously need to be entered manually.
Yeah, but because it's not a feed, it's not going to automatically calculate the difference between this month and last month, is it?
Well, if you enter current value and previous value, it will calculate the percentage, but you need to enter it manually.
Oh, that's fine. You know, we can. Yeah, that's fine. We can do previous. Yeah, okay, that's cool. So, sorry, how do I? Where's the what's the previous value one in there? Is that just one of the widgets?
So it's just this place here where you enter previous value.
Okay, that's fine.
It can be used in single value widgets and in custom list as well. So if you want to show two different metrics, custom list can be the answer for you. Yeah. Since it adds like a few metrics in here in one widget, so you are able to like add new and then do the current value and the previous value.
No, the current value and previous value is perfect.
Okay, great. So these are offline widgets.
Yeah.
So now going back to pre-made, I'm building a report for Google Analytics. Some of the integrations, they have a lot of widgets available, so you can use search in here. Let's add sessions, average session time. Each widget is fully editable, meaning you can change the title, the description. You can change the name in here, which shows under the number, and it's done by clicking on metric, 3 dots, and change display name. It makes sense for some of the widgets from Facebook ads integration, for example, where the names are really long and really random.
Okay.
Everywhere where you see a little icon like this, it means you can change the icon that shows up in the report here. So just click on it, and then you arrive at an icon library, and then you can just browse through and see whatever fits you best.
Perfect.
In Google Analytics, you can add segments to your widgets. It's done by clicking on here. And here we pull all the segments that are built in your Google Analytics account.
Okay.
So you can actually add 2 metrics that show sessions, and then choose different segments for them in order to compare them face to face. Also, we have ability to filter in Google Analytics. Filtering is like for more advanced users. We have a help center available where you can find an article on how to use filters and how to build them. If you need help,
that's fine. That's worth knowing. But I think for our clients, we just need very high level data.
Okay, brilliant. Another thing you can do with Google Analytics, and this is also actually available with Google Ads and Facebook Ads, is the ability to build custom metrics.
Okay.
So sometimes it happens that you can't find anything under pre-made, you can't find it under Studio, and maybe it's something that you calculate customly in your agency.
Yeah.
For example, engagement rate, different agencies calculate them in different way. So this would be the place to build your custom metric. It works quite simply, so you just add any metric, anything from the list. Then you select an action, add another metric or numeric input. You can name it. You can choose a type of number that shows, choose whether it's a positive or negative increase, which will alter the color of the comparison.
Yeah.
And then you save it. And then if you want to change to this custom metric, you simply click on metric and find it under custom metrics just here.
Okay.
All right. So all pre-made widgets, they work in a very similar way. Everything is editable. And as I mentioned, if you can't find something, then we can use Studio to build it. So for example, I would like to add some demographic data, which is not available under pre-made, so I can build it here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to add a pie chart. And I will call it visitors by age. I will need to change my dimension to show age groups. And I will leave users as my metric, updating the widget, and now I will have a nice pie chart showing me visitors by age.
Okay.
I can do a similar way with column chart, for example. So maybe I want to create something called sessions by gender. I will leave date range as one of the dimensions since I can add a few.
Yeah.
It's just because it makes sense for this type of graph, and I want to add gender. So I'll add that. I leave sessions and updating the widget and another graph in here. If I switch the dimensions, the view can be edited a little bit and it will be different. So you can just kind of try and see what works better for you. Now, more of the interesting types of graphs that are available in the Studio is the table graph.
Mm-hmm.
The table widget, sorry. So I want to build something called top pages. I leave page as my dimension. Also, I could add more as well. Now, each metric in here represents a column in here. I can delete the columns by clicking on remove, and I can even add more. I think you can add up to 6 in here.
Okay.
So let's add the bounce rate. Updating the widget. Each table is sorted by one of the metrics selected in here, and this table is being sorted by sessions from highest to lowest. I can tell that by the little triangle. If I click on here, then the sorting changes to show session data sorted by sessions from lowest to highest. And I can also switch to any other metric, and I can move them around. I can also add numbering to the table, and if I want it to be more visual, then I can choose an icon, which adds little icons here.
Okay.
Now, obviously, the top 4 pages might be not enough for me, so I want to pull in more data for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do this by expanding the table. If it happens the table is at the bottom of the page, a little icon appears in here, which says extend to new page. So once I click on it, a new page will be created, and the table will be extended here. And if I want to see even more data, then I can expand it even more.
Brilliant.
All right, so this is Google Analytics. I'm just thinking, do you have any questions regarding this specific integration before we move on to another one?
No, not really. It's obviously it's going to take a bit of time for us to play with it to make sure we get the reports made. As I say, in the first instance, I just want to create a very simple report for clients. But no, this is great, and then we can expand on the detail a little bit down the line.
Okay, brilliant. So now I want to add a different integration to this report. So I'll just add a comment, and I will call it adds requirements, for example. Just because it makes it easier to scan the report. I will need another page in here. And now what I have to do is switch to a different integration here. So I'm going to select Facebook ads, going back, and now the widgets apply only to Facebook ads in here. So again, metrics work in a very similar way.
Yeah.
Area chart is something we haven't looked into it, but it's pretty straightforward as well. You can select dimensions, different metrics. If I want to show just impressions, I can get rid of clicks and update the widget, and I see a different view. Now, some of the integrations, they have a widget type called compact media or expanded media. This is available for Facebook ads, Instagram, and Google ads as well. So what it does is pulls the images from your ad account.
Okay. Yeah.
They are pretty similar in what they show. The only difference is that expanded media is larger and this one is smaller.
Yeah.
Both of them can be extended as well. The settings menu work in a very similar way to tables, so you can add more dimensions, more metrics, and you can change the sorting as well.
So we can look at the top performing ad, for example, is that?
Yes, exactly. So this one would be showing top ads. It shows top ads on account performance level.
Yeah.
If I want to show for a specific campaign, I click on it, switch to campaign performance, and then I get another and more options to select. So I can pick a specific campaign, and then I would be adding dimensions and metrics and updating here. So now basically it shows me top ads from this specific campaign, which is shown here on the bottom. And then I can obviously sort them by a selected metric. Okay, so this is that. Now I want to show you how to filter a PPC report for a specific campaign. I've just shown you how to do it for a specific metric.
Yeah.
But you can also filter it for the whole report. So what I will do, I'm just going to go back here and I'm going to create a report out of a template. And let's do Google Ads. So Google Ads performance. When you're creating a report out of a template, Whatagraph assigns the first data source that is available in there. But if you have more accounts connected, then you can switch the source to have it for a different AdWords account. And this is done by clicking here on the source. Then I hover over it and I click on Edit Source.
Yeah.
Here I can switch to a different ad account if I had one, and here I can also filter data by a specific campaign ad or ad group. You can do the same for Facebook ads as well, and Facebook ads also have the ability to be filtered by pixel.
Yeah, that was one of my questions about adding in specific campaigns, because we want to report a performance at an account level, but also at campaign level as well. So we can add in multiple campaigns. That's right, yeah.
Depends what you mean by multiple campaigns. You can filter one report for one specific campaign. So it's either account performance or it's performance for one specific campaign. If you want to filter, for example, 3 campaigns out of 5, this is not available yet. We are calling about a data merging feature, which will be available, I think, in Q2. So at the moment, we can just filter for one campaign.
So let's say, for example, let's use our clients as an example. So if we had an example for glasses, contact lenses, and eye tests, which are all different campaigns under one account. Can we not show the performance of those campaigns individually in a report?
You can show individually, but this so this would be then campaign after another campaign.
Yes, yeah.
You could also you could also show the performance for all three of them by simply selecting account performance. So this would be summed up automatically.
But there may be another bunch of accounts in there. It's just for the top three. That's fine. That's okay.
So yeah, so this is where you choose the campaign, update the source, and then all the report updates and shows data just for this specific campaign, which obviously wasn't running in this date range. Now, another thing that you can do with Whatagraph is create multi-date reports. By default, when you create a report, it has one calendar available, and it assigns the same date range for all the data sources that you have selected. I'm just going to make a copy of this so we have more sources. And basically, you have the ability to present data for different date ranges in one report. So, for example, I want to show this campaign. And I want to show performance for last month. And for this different campaign, I want to show performance for last year, for example. So I can do that as well by switching to a multi-calendar. So this is where you can do it. In this way, each integration gets its own little calendar, so you can set different date ranges for them. And then you can also, and then you can also switch to different accounts, and you can also compare to different accounts in here as well. The only thing with multi-calendars is that they cannot be automated, so this would need to remain an on-demand report. Which you can still generate and share manually, but this cannot be automated.
Okay, no problem.
At least not yet. Okay, so let's imagine that this is our perfect report, which is by far not. But when you're done, you click on Done Editing, and this is where you can save your report as a template. This is done by clicking on plus icon. You can also download it as a PDF, and you can also share it. You have several sharing options available, so sharing via email or getting a direct link. If you ever have any technical problems, data is not matching, and you write to our support, we usually ask you for a link to the report, so this will be the place to get it.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I will need to switch back to single calendar because I don't see automation here. Okay, done editing. So now we have another option. It's to automate the report. So when I click on automation, I will see that I have my settings here that I've set up earlier. I can make custom as well. And here are the date ranges that I can select for my automated reports. So weekly reports, they run from Monday to Sunday, and they are being delivered on Mondays or Tuesdays, depending whether you selected to review them before. Monthly reports run from the first day till the last day of the month, and they are being delivered on the first or the second the next month. And it's the same way with...
I noticed you don't do fortnightly reports there, so not a report every 2 weeks.
No, unfortunately not. We have just daily or weekly, and not...
monthly will be fine for us.
This will actually change in the future. We will introduce more flexible automation settings, as I mentioned, so you will be able to select different date ranges and also different comparison date ranges to the report.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine.
So I'm selecting monthly and updating report. Oops. Updating report automation, and now this report will drop down to automated report section. You can, if you want to see this report in a different date range, you can always make a copy of it, and then it would fall here under on-demand report, so you can open it and then play with more flexible calendar in there.
Okay.
Now, one important thing to know is that sometimes we lose connection to data sources. It can happen due to a number of reasons. For example, somebody changes the password of the account. Something changes in the API. API tokens might run out, as they do in Facebook ads, for example, every 90 days. This means that we lose the connection and we can't access the data, and the reports would be coming out in zeros.
Right.
When that happens, we send an email to you saying that something is wrong, please come and verify your sources. And when you come to Whatagraph, you would also be seeing exclamation marks all over the place here.
Yeah.
So a good place to check the connection status is either in the client settings, but that would only show sources for this specific client,
Yeah.
or you can go to account access here, and it shows data sources for whole of the accounts. So you can just scroll down and see whether there are any errors. If you can see that some connection is lost, simply click on Verify Status, which will ask you to log into your account, and this will reestablish the connection, and we will start getting your data again.
Okay.
So it's just quite important to know that once that happens, be sure to re-verify the status, especially for integrations like LinkedIn, MailChimp, Twitter, and Instagram, which do not have historical data. So if there is a gap in verifying the status, it means there will be a gap in information as well.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so this is more or less.
I'm a bit mindful of your time. What I'd like to do, if possible, is just with you set up a very basic report of our own, our first report, if we can. Is that okay?
Sure, absolutely. I've actually finished with my walkthrough, so I was just gonna go over to the questions. So this is exactly what we can do. So what do I click? Stop sharing screen?
I'll just switch that over, and I will share my screen.
All right.
So, okay. So can you see my screen now? Okay, fantastic. Right. Okay, so my first client. So where do we start from here? What's the best place to start?
So you need to go to your dashboard first. You are in the settings, so you can just click on cancel on the X. Yeah, that's fine.
Right, good stuff. Okay, so I click on my first client, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you connect all the data sources here?
Yeah, all the data sources are, well, they're already connected. They're already in this batch of data sources, but I've not connected them directly for this. So just create there, yeah.
Yes, create report.
Okay.
So which integrations are we planning to use here?
AdWords, Analytics, Facebook ads, Twitter, Instagram, MailChimp, Google My Business, so quite a few.
So you can either start with a blank template, or you can start with one of the integrations templates, so then you can just add on top of that.
So where would we go for the integration templates? Is that?
So you see them all here listed.
Oh, yeah, no, I've had a look at these, and they don't seem to have everything in, if I'm honest. I guess that's probably the best one. And then we can add stuff to it, can we? Or is a blank report the way to go?
Yes, we can add more here. We can add more integrations and more widgets as well. So each template is editable.
Yeah, that's fine. So I'm clicking that and nothing's happening.
Just give it a little bit of time. You can see that it's scrolling.
Okay, great stuff. So I thought sort it out. So I've not created the name of the client. Should I have done that?
Where would you need the client name to show?
Well, if I'm picking it up, well, basically what I'm wanting to do now is create a template that we can use for all clients, a very simple one. So does it matter that I've not named the client, or do we just?
No, not really.
Right. So next steps. What do we do now?
So now you can just start looking at the report and see whether these metrics make sense to you. And we want to start deleting the metrics that you are not going to use and start adding the ones that will be used for your report.
That's fine. So your performance report, I'm guessing we're putting the client name in there, are we?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, well, we'll just put in example client report. I'm going to use the data from InFocus. That's fine. Okay, that's okay. That's fine. Save that. So report dates. So we just click into this, right?
It's not editable, this widget, but if you want to change reporting date range, then there is a calendar at the top of the screen.
Oh, that there. Sorry. Right. Okay. So what we want to do is report period would be that there. Save, and we would compare to first. Okay. So second to first. That's not right, is it? So we need to go. No, it's right.
It's
Oh,
just
it's the way that it's set up. Yeah, it's sorry. So we're the first. That's the first to the second. That's the wrong way around for us. Can we change the configuration of the calendar?
yes, you can change it under client settings. So you would
Um,
need to leave the report and then do it under client settings.
right, finish the report, then do it in the client settings. That's fine. We'll do that then. That's fine. Okay, so this first section is analytics, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. No, revenue's not really one for us, so delete that out. Delete that one out as well. Total visitors will be good, so just drag that in, right?
Yes. Drag and drop.
Okay. So I've not connected particular data sources for this client. Does it matter? So if I set this up as a template, and then I pull that template into a specific client, it will and then add the data sources there. It'll fill, right? Is that
It's so when you save report as a template, it saves the layout
yes?
of the template
Yes,
and the type of integration. So, for example, if your next client will be using the
exactly.
same
Yeah.
sources, you
Yes.
just
Yeah.
need to make sure to put it in its folder, and it will assign the data sources to the report.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, new users would be fine. That would be good. Products by revenue. Don't know what that's going to show. I'll delete that out. Okay. Page views by URL would be good. Mobile versus desktop would be good. So I'm wanting to make this smaller. How do I make that smaller?
You can just make it like more narrow, but you can't make it.
Oh, can I not make that half the size, like a square, like the ones above? No?
Yes, you can. So just you can make like the one above. So you
Yeah.
just need to drag the corner. You see like this little
That
triangle
one.
and
Yeah.
to the
Okay,
left.
perfect. Right, good stuff. So I can do that from that point as well, and then just take that up there, can
And
I?
then if you want to move it, you need to click on the like little dots at the top left corner.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
All of it.
Wonderful. Okay, mobile versus desktop, social traffic. That would be good. Sources by traffic list generally, that's fine. Yes, top completed goals would be good. So is this gonna? Oh, have I run out of space here?
So just click on new page on the bottom, and then you will get a new page in here.
Okay, wonderful. So that's not that's great. So I'm going to put top completed goals in there as well. Channels by highest traffic will do too. Right, that's fine. That'll do me for analytics. Oops. I need to just make that smaller. So now I want to go to my Google Ads. That's great. So I just go up here, right, and then
Yes. The source. So select Google Ads just underneath.
just
The
bear with me
Lensa
one.
icon.
Just bear with me one second. Sorry, it's speaking. It is, yes. Hello. Right, it's there's not a specific one. It's Canalside, Bingley Medical Centre in Bingley. Bingley, yeah. It's any GP really. There's no fixed GP. Right. Okay. Thanks. Cheers. Appreciate that. Bye bye. Apologies about that. I wouldn't have normally taken that, but it was the hospital about my son's asthma. So
Okay.
it was quite. They just needed some detail. Right. Okay. So Google Ads, wonderful. So we're using optics here. Oh yeah. Okay, that's fine. Oh, so I've got the wrong one here. So if I want to change that, I click on edit source, right?
No. Underneath just that, you see Lenza Eye Center.
Yeah, no, sorry. I mean, in terms of, because these are all different. These are all different different clients. So optics, Lenza, and InFocus are all different clients.
I
mean, it doesn't matter for now. To be honest with you, what data comes through, because we're just creating a template. So that's fine. So right, so that's my Google. That's Google Ads there. Right, okay, so okay. Total cost, that's fine. Yeah. Conversions, 13. Cost per conversion, that's fine. Funnel activity. Impressions, clicks, conversions. Yeah, funnel activity. Okay, that's fine. Probably want some more for Google Ads there, to be honest with you. So we'll bob in keywords. That's gone massive. That's fine. We'll be happy with a large one for keywords. Okay, that's interesting. Search queries will be a useful one as well. It pulls through. That's going to be the same. That's basically going to be the same information, surely. CTR impressions. Okay, I'll worry about that later. Okay, Facebook ads. We've got that. That's so we would need to go to change that, and then
that's a lot of sources.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's we've got a lot of clients, and it's only going to grow. LinkedIn ads not connected. Oh, Facebook ads. Sorry, my. Okay. So in terms of Facebook ads, that's right. We can muck about with that. That's fine. Okay, LinkedIn ads we don't want at this stage. So I've deleted that header out for that. Is this all LinkedIn ads? It is, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah. So take all that out. Okay. Oh, why have we gone back to Google Analytics on page 8?
Interesting.
How come that's repeated?
Neither. Okay, I will need to check templates later. Maybe it's just a small bug why the template is showing, but you can just delete the whole page, so it will save time, so you don't have to do it like that.
Okay, fine, no problem. So let's bin that out. Delete that. Okay, so if I'm wanting to add in a new page, which would be, for example, I want to get in there, Google My Business.
So click on sources.
Yeah.
And then I wonder if you can use a search. It's at the top, and it would maybe show up the data sources here. You would need to enter the name of the actual Google My Business account.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little shopping counter icon.
Yep, there we go.
So including report.
Great
Now it's
stuff.
included. So you need to select under included in the report. You need to mark this data source.
Sorry.
So where you see in focus opticians, Google My Business account, just click on it. Just underneath that.
Yep.
Now we are still in Facebook ads.
So we are.
So just click on it and click here. Right. Here we go. And then just go back, and the Google My Business is now selected.
What? Sorry, where am I going back to?
So just go back where you see manage data at the top of the page, and then there's like a little back icon. So when you go back,
I'm with you. Okay, that's fine.
yes, so now we are in Google My Business.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so it's not pre-populated anything here, is it? No.
No, unfortunately not. Once you added a new data source, then you need to add the widgets as well.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. So are the widgets sorted by popularity? Any particular?
No, not really, actually.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't think we have any sorting. You can use the tags that are above, where like engagement search and so on.
Okay, that's fine. Let's go down. I need to go down a bit, don't I? There we go. Right, this is fine. So this all makes sense, to be honest with you now. So let's say I want to set this as a report, which I can go back and edit, right? And I can add more pages in for things like Twitter and whatever we need to do. Yep. So exactly. how do I now save this as a template and mark it down as a template that I want?
All right. So you need to click on Done Editing.
Done editing. Yep.
And then there is like just next to Edit Report, there is a little icon with a plus inside. Just at the top, this one, right?
Yeah.
So when you click it, save as a template, you need to give it a name.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Just save that, yeah.
And then when you go back to your dashboard, and then when you click on Create Report again,
yeah,
you will find your template under Team Templates. So if you click on Create, Create Report,
so Team
and select Team Templates. So this is here. When you are saving it as a template, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to load. So you see two now because you click 2 times. You can delete the one that you don't need.
Okay, fine. I'll delete one of them.
Now, Chris, one thing to know about the templates is that we don't have an option yet to edit the template. Meaning, when you edit the template, then every report that is using this template, it doesn't update. But you can always open it up. Which creates a report, and then you can edit this report and save it as a new template, and then delete the old one.
I'm with you. Okay, that's absolutely fine because there's things I need to finish off from that point of view. So I'll rename it as well. So we just literally open it up, edit it, save it. So that's fine. So that's okay. So if I then go back to. So I'm wanting to create a report for a client so the client can log in and see this report. So just remind me how I go through that process again. So I've got a client, could be any client. Let's just call them in focus because that's the one that we kind of talked about. So let's pretend we're setting them up from, I know there's 2 set up there. I've set them up already, haven't I? Or have I? Oh, hang on, I'm slightly confused. Right, so I've set up the data sources for these particular clients. Haven't I? So I've done that. That's fine. So I've already organized their data sources. So if I,
This one doesn't have data sources yet.
that one doesn't, no. That one does. Oh, okay, right. Yeah, that's because I've done this before, and that's why. So if I, why does that say new report there? Is that because I've called it in Focus's report?
We didn't work with this client during this walkthrough, so I'm not sure.
So if I've gone into InFocus where we've got the data sources, if I create report and then I go to team templates and then
So you said
then I use that template.
So you can just click on it and then it will create a report using the layout of the template.
Yeah, it'll pull everything through that we've created in that other report, right?
Yes, it should do.
That's the plan, eh? Okay. I changed all that with the red on at the top. I don't know why that's showing like that. I'll have a look at that. Okay, yeah. So that's right. Baker Street. That's their details. Social traffic. Google.com. That's a bit weird. Okay. Completions, channels by traffic. Okay, we killed that off then. Right. Is it pulling the Google Ad data through?
Bear in mind that this is a report for the last week. It's the default period that we choose when you create a report, but you can also change it.
So this is just for the last week. So if I click on that, yes. The report period I actually want is first to that and save, and I want to compare it to the 1st January to then save. Right. Okay. Is that graying out there because it's still working?
It's grayed out because the settings menu is open. So if you go back next to manage data, then it will activate again.
Right. Yes. Thank you. Could have been there for a while if it was just me sat there looking at it. Okay. So I'm not seeing comparisons. Where are the comparisons on here?
Have you selected it? So the comparisons are the green percentage numbers. So you see, 0.75%.
Yeah.
So this should be the comparison rate.
So that's compared to the last previous session. So it's up 0.75%.
Yes. So it shows the percentage change, and also underneath you see a little previous value.
Yeah. So that's the page views, and that's percentage up. Yeah. Down. Red. Okay. That's perfect. Okay. Good stuff. Right. Is there anything else that's been really helpful? I'm mindful of the time. Yours and mine. That's been really helpful. Thank you for running through it. Is there anything else that I need to know from your end?
Not really. I encourage you to go and try out the reports. If you have any questions, let me know, and we can always set up another session as well if needed.
Yeah, that's really kind. So one quick question. We have call tracking metrics, which is a call tracking system that we use. It's not on your list of data sources.
It's not at the moment, but we do have it on our roadmap, so it will be available in the future. It's not the first request we get, so we have included it already in the roadmap.
Right, but if we had the API from call tracking metrics, would we be able to integrate it into our reports?
You would, but this needs to be done on our side first. Okay. We need to integrate with this API so you can then use it in your reports.
Right, so that's something that we have to wait for you guys on.
Yes, exactly. You could still use like offline data or screenshots. Yeah. Obviously not the answer. Yeah. But yeah, at the moment you would need to wait until we integrate it with call tracking metrics.
That's fine. Oh, actually, while we're on here, let's just create a new page. So if I was to do a new page here,
Mhm.
So I'm creating a new page. Lovely. If I'm wanting to add offline again, so remind me how I do offline.
So you see a little graph icon next to letter T, just at the top. So right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, add
So you click
offline
here,
data.
then you
Yeah, got
access
it.
your offline data with it.
Perfect. And then I add the single data value, and then all I need to do is click in there and edit it.
Mhm.
Right. Awesome.
Sure.
That's wonderful. Great stuff. Okay, that's been fantastic. Thanks ever so much for your help. That's been
Thank you,
incredibly
Chris.
useful for us. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Enjoy Whatagraph and let me know if you have any questions.
No, we certainly will do. We certainly will do. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
I hope so.
Cheers. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.